Story number 3. This is a big one, actually, from our own Jeff Sneider, who wrote a great piece on Collider.com. Even after we discuss this, highly recommend going on the website and checking this out. So he wrote a piece about the 5 options that he thinks Disney has with New Mutants, with the release of New Mutants. And I'm going to run down all these options now. All right. Number 1 is release New Mutants into theaters and then just hope for the best. Option 2 would be release New Mutants on Hulu, and then Disney owns 60% of Hulu, so that's how that could happen. And then option 3 is release New Mutants on Disney+. So those 3 versions, when he says release them on those platforms, he means as is, whatever the cut is right now. Then we move into option 4, which is basically don't release it ever. And Jeff even says this possibility seems very unlikely because so many, and this is one of my favorite things that he wrote, hundreds and hundreds of people worked on New Mutants, and that work deserves to be seen. So that's something to consider here. So are any contractual obligations that they might have to the cast of the movie. Then option 5, spend the money to fix New Mutants and go from there. Jeff's sources say that the film is salvageable. Boone was just never given the chance to do the reshoots that Fox originally wanted, but if Disney were to, let's say, dip into its really big pockets, shell out something like $5 to $10 million and let them fix New Mutants the way they had planned, then all of a sudden it might be worth it. I know where I land on this. I'm tossing it to you guys first. 1, which option do you think Disney will go with? And then 2, which one do you want them to go with? And they can be the same.
Fix it and release it. It just seems like, I mean, it's a lot to me, but to them, it's a negligible amount of money to be able to put this out in theaters. You have people in it that audiences would like to see, even if this isn't maybe coherent with Disney's plan for what we're going to do with this franchise in the future. Doesn't mean it shouldn't exist.
I think I'm with you on that. That's the option that I want to go with. I mean, I've said it before on the show time and time again. I've really been looking forward to this movie ever since that first trailer dropped. I'm a big fan of Josh Boone. I like a lot of this ensemble. And if we're talking about $5 to $10 million in reshoots for a movie that Fox already paid to get made, yeah, it makes sense, because I think Jeff even says it in the piece. Let's say a movie like this opens with $20 million. Well, you got a lot of your money back. And of course, that doesn't account for a marketing budget. But even then, I still have a good feeling that this movie would be able to make its money back, at the very least break even. And then on top of that, it's the right thing to do. It sends a much better message than, let's say, hiding
villains
something.
If they throw it away, you know?
Exactly.
I mean, we're facing, thousands of layoffs. If you want to look like the bad guy, throw away someone's art into a trash can and pretend it never existed.
And I think the way Jeff put it in his piece is it wouldn't be a good look. And I know that's a very simple way to say it, but he is right. That would be a terrible look for Disney after this deal is closed. You're right?
Oh, he's got something controversial
I'm worried
to
about
say.
which way he's going on this now.
Here's the deal. I think the smarter move is releasing it on Hulu Plus as a way to get people to watch it. Why would you waste $5 to $10 million, and it is wasting $5 to $10 million to fix a film for characters you're never going to put on screen again with those actors? Plus, the way Maisie and them responded to it, being like, I don't know what the F is going on with that. Who knows what the F is going to happen with that? Like, she was very adamant about it, and they didn't even do the reshoots that they had said they were going to do. So you're going to bring this whole cast back together who are maybe a little bit older, look a little different, who knows, it's been a bit, and then you're going to have them reshoot this whole thing and go back into this world, and who knows if it's going to work out, who knows if you want to revisit it. Sometimes you do something and it seemed like a good idea at the time, and then someone comes up and goes, hey, you want to come back and do it? Then you come back and do it, like, this doesn't feel right anymore. And I feel like anything they do with Dark Phoenix or New Mutants is just a colossal waste of time, because you're not going to bring these characters back with these actors. You're not. So you're cleaning the slate clean and just be done with it. Yes, I get your point, both of your points about, like, the message it sends and getting rid of it. And Jeff surprisingly is very idealistic about the fact that so many people have worked on films. You should respect that. Films get shuttered all the time. Films get shut down all the time. Films fail at the box office all the time, and you still lose the money. For me, it's just like, I feel like, why are you doing this other than to try to make a buck? There's no real desire to go forward with this franchise, with these actors. So to me, it just seems a futile effort. It's like moving in with someone and then you're still like letting them keep their ex's stuff around the house. It's like, well, why?
3 things.
Sure.
Make a buck. I feel like I'm going to forget the 3 things before I say that.
Right, list them first, then details.
Make a buck.
If
yes.
you can. Yeah.
I also think it is the respectful thing to do for all those people, some of which could have lost their jobs. But then on top of that, it's also respecting the talent that you might want to work with in the future. Yeah, maybe they're not going to come back in the franchise as X-Men, but I mean, could you see Maisie Williams and Sophie Turner, just to bring both of the movies into the equation right now? Could you see them signing on for a Disney or a Marvel movie or just something down the line? Because
yes,
I certainly can. And who knows? Obviously, she dropped a whole lot of F-bombs, Maisie Williams, when she was talking about this. You could sense the frustration,
Certainly.
but we don't know what she thinks about the actual film and,
Sure.
and if she really wants to have it released. And if someone like her, who's in the movie, wants to see it hit the big screen and Disney might want to work with her in the future, it behooves them to invest this itty-bitty amount that is like nothing to them, because still, I firmly believe that if they invest this and a minimal marketing budget, they're going to make that money back. And then what harm does it bring to them? It only does good for the other people that worked on it. And also, here's a 4th thing for my list.
Sure.
It is also showing respect for the fans. I know that nobody, or very few people, at least at this point, have sky-high hopes for these 2 movies. They've been very troubled productions, but there are most certainly people out there, myself included, who have been looking forward to these movies, who have invested a significant amount of time, like eagerly awaiting these movies, and to not be able to see them, I know it's not the case with Dark Phoenix, but you get my point. As a fan, I feel like it would be respectful if they just released it and gave me the option whether or not I want to watch it, and I think most people would take the option.
I mean, when you said Dark Phoenix, I wanted to agree with you. It's too soon to do the Dark Phoenix saga.
It was.
I mean, it is $5 to $10 million is not that much in the Disney coffers, and it's maybe you don't need good PR, but maybe it'd be worth it to stop bad PR, because if they do this disrespectful thing, they're going to look like, the big bad mouse who only cares about money, and they don't care about the fans, and they don't care about filmmakers, they don't care about art. It's all about the bottom line. You don't want to be that, especially when you're, taking over the world the way you are as Disney.
But that's my point. I don't think they could give a crap. I think they
don't wanna be the EA of
60%
movies.
right now of the movie. Like, that's madness. 60%. So we don't kowtow to Maisie. Maisie kowtows to us. That's the thing. If you're a corporation, you can find a young, great actress anywhere. Anywhere. You can find it if you're Disney. They will come to you. And so to me, I don't think they have to do this out of goodwill or have to do this for creators or whatever. I think they've got a bottom line. And as Perri said, our first thing's make a buck. That's the bottom line. Can we, as we assess this situation, make a buck? If not, we maybe we dump it on the Disney Plus or dump it on some whatever. We're done with it. We don't want to sink any more budgets into it, wasted money into it, and then move on. But I don't think they're like, oh, maybe Sansa won't come back and work with us. I think Disney could care less. They are a corporation that is a multi-billion-dollar corporation.
Exactly, and if you're trying to take over the world like Disney is, you can't look like the bad guy. You have to get people to think you deserve to take over the world. You need their goodwill. You need them on your side, not opposing you all the way.
Do you think someone's not going to go see a Disney film because they throw away New Mutants? Do you think, you know what? I am not going to go see that Mulan movie now.
Well, it's also about something like, bad buzz and just like putting a bad taste in your mouth building over time too. Because I know Disney's one of the biggest companies out there and how much of the industry they actually own, but it might take time, but if enough bad decisions are made, that could eventually turn sour and screw them over, especially with empires like Netflix and now Apple with all their stuff starting to build. So again, I think it would be in their best interest to, basically do what they did with James Gunn. Actually, now that I say that, I believe Jeff brought that up in his piece right now too, is that they clearly they realized they made a mistake. And they changed their initial decision. And if they could see what the right way to go is on a scenario like that, they have to be able to see the good in spending a very minimal amount of money to at least release this thing.
Well, there was that other THR report that said that they just wanted him to lay low for a while. Then they were going to bring him back the whole time anyway. So who knows? We don't know yet what the truth is, but I take your point absolutely. I get what you both are saying thoroughly. It's just at the end of the day, I don't know how much Disney really cares, and
I think we're art of warring it.
Yeah. Well, they've been vilified for decades. People talk about the mouse all the time. Since the Walt Disney
Big
time.
Bad Mouse.
The Big Bad Mouse. Everyone talks about it.
Start repeating that now.
And these aren't like beloved. These don't look like beloved movies that people want to see. These are movies that have troubled productions. So you're just like, I don't think it would have the same connotation necessarily. Like if they had all of a sudden stopped Aladdin, that would be something. That would be something because that's
that would
their
be
own property,
unfounded.
their own thing, their own thing.
That would
but with
be
something
weird.
like this, but something like this, I think they won't lose that much to get rid of it. But you're probably right. They're probably going to spend the money and try to fix it and see what they can make out of it.
I hope.
I just think you'd be done with it and move on. That's my thing.
I hope. I mean, another thing Jeff mentioned is that even if they do commit to doing those reshoots, it's just, we're talking about a cast that's insanely busy right now because they're very good
true.
and very in demand. So it might be tough to pull together those reshoots. But New Mutants, I'm rooting for you one way or the other.